Hi, my name's Dave. I'm making a video to demonstrate video rendering on different platforms. What we've got here is several MacBook Pros and an Asus 2-in-1, and this is going to be a video rendering comparison. And we'll go through and I'll talk about times and specs and stuff. The computers we're using today are starting from left to right: a 2008 MacBook Pro, a 2011 MacBook Pro, 2013 MacBook Pro, and on the far right there is an Asus 2-in-1, and that's going to be kind of the wild card today. Now, pretty much action cameras are a lot of fun. They have a variety of uses. However, what a lot of folks don't realize when you get into these action cameras is what it involves to render or edit video, and that's how you make these little YouTube videos, unless you're just doing it right off your phone or something. So if you're using a GoPro, an action camera, a real camera, you have to consider what the quality of the footage you're going to be recording: 4K, high def, or standard def, frame rates, stuff like that. And then the media that you're going to be recording on will have an effect. The size of the media, and then you look at how you're going to plan to transfer the media to a device. Like with the older MacBook Pros, an SD card, you need a USB converter. If you're shooting 4K on something serious, you're going to need a third-party device like a Convergent Design or something from video devices, and then you're going to have to get a SATA to solid-state drive converter to USB or whatever it is. There's a lot going on there, and I'm just keeping this real simple to just demonstrate the computer side of the things. So with that being said, we're going to talk about what we've got going on. We've got a comparison on 4 15-inch laptops, rendering a 6-minute and 32-second video shot on a GoPro Hero 3 Black 720 at 60 frames per second. Everything was high performance mode, and the MacBooks rendered with screen recording. For the sake of the demonstration, that's what you're going to see in the video. But I do have actual times without it running the secondary task and just the raw numbers, and that's really what counts. But it's kind of fun to see how all that comes together. Now we'll get to our first video here, and this here is just some live footage of what it looks like when you're converting on a 2013 15-inch MacBook Pro, and those are the specs there. So see little blue lines moving pretty quick, and that's probably that's the fastest of the MacBooks we tested today, and that's really that's about as good as it's going to get on a laptop for rendering video. Now I'll go ahead and switch to the next one here, and this here is a late 2011 2.5 gigahertz Intel quad-core i7. It's got the 16 gig of RAM, and then it's also got a solid-state hard drive in there, and a 1 gig video card. And that blue line's moving. It's moving. It's not moving as fast, but it's definitely moving quick. That's good. And then that's also a pretty high performance laptop compared to some of the stuff that's out there. These are impressive. Now we'll go to the next one, which is a late 2008 MacBook Pro. It's got a 2.4 gigahertz dual core, or Core 2 Duo, 8 gigs of RAM, a little NVIDIA GeForce graphics card. And the thing that you want to consider is this is a 2009 or 2008 computer. It's old, but by computer specs, it still holds up. It converted. It did the job the first time. It took a little while, but it did it, and that's good. That's great, and for the price point on these things, they're machines. They're fantastic. And I'm slowly trying to transition back into PC, and PC has just been really, really hard to, once you go from PC to Apple, it's really hard to convert back the other way. So I recently acquired a Asus. It's a 2-in-1. The numbers up there are crazy, but it's got a 5400 RPM hard drive. It's an i7. I believe it's a dual core. a 2.0 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM, and it's got an NVIDIA 2 gig video card. So it does have a video card in it, which makes it kind of nice. And if you look, you can slowly see that blurry red smudge growing. So it's not horrible, you know. It's doing a really good job. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed by that. So, but just when I was doing that, it is really frustrating because I had to update it and update it again. And I did all of this with the GoPro app. So I got everything running, no background tasks, just the GoPro app on there. Nothing else, and I got some times here to just demonstrate what we have. So this is our record times doing dual tasks. This is the screen record while running the GoPro rendering, and this is how long it took to render the video. The MacBook did 3.5 minutes. The 11 did it in just over 4, and the old 08 I did it in, you know, it was almost 18 minutes. But meanwhile, the Asus failed twice, and I spent a while upgrading and updating and messing with settings and trying to get it to do what I wanted it to, and it was a little frustrating. But I did get it to go through, and I pulled it off. And once it got to working, I was really happy with those times after that. And this is just a raw, just running the GoPro app, render time for this video. It took 2 minutes and 37 seconds on the 2013 MacBook Pro. It took 3 minutes and 1 second for the 2011. The Asus 2-in-1 did fantastic at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. I was definitely stoked on that. And then the old 08 did it in 7 minutes, which isn't bad. I mean, this is still something you probably couldn't pull off with the Surface or some of these newer computers. So that being said, we're really happy with that. I'm pretty happy with that. It would have been nice to have an older or even like one of these newer netbooks or one of these new computers that, you know, little 4 gigs of RAM on a i3 or i5 processor with integrated graphics. It'd be fun to see how long it'd take to render video on that. I imagine it'd probably be in that 7 to 10 minute range, just because that's, I don't know, that's just what it is. But anyhow, this is just my MacBook Pro and Asus 2-in-1 comparison. We'll have one last look at these here MacBooks that I tested, and once again I'll show you the specs on everything. And there's the specs. So if you have any questions, or if anybody out there knows anything about the I've been looking for actual information on the Blackmagic Thunderbolt devices like the Ultra Studios and stuff, trying to get those to work on Windows machines. I've looked at Asus, I've entertained some other stuff, and I just haven't found anything awesome. But anyway, thank you for watching.